Okay guys, this is Jim. I am obviously still in Sunland Park, still on the New Mexico-US border. When I used to show you these pictures, this was formerly Monument 1 with no wall. One of the easiest crossing points. I call it the VIP entrance into the United States. One of the things that I don't think a lot of people have touched on this entrance is that it's very easy for buses, coyotes, people to easily go down to the parking lot, drop off, cross into the United States, make their asylum claim, and get Ubered out by a Border Patrol agent, okay? While that's happening, what typically would happen up here in the mountain, now that you guys are up here with me, you can see more what it looks like. This was the area. Now keep in mind guys, Mexico is right there, right where my finger is. That's Mexico, okay? So what would happen is while they were getting tied up, the coyotes would use these mountains, which we've kind of torn up here with all their trails, so that they could smuggle drugs, they could get criminals in that were hardcore. This is a very important piece of wall where the location of it being built is, okay? One of the things that was said about building a wall down here is the Army Corps of Engineers said it could never be done. Because if you look right here, guys, this is the part of the wall. They stopped us down there. This is the part of the wall that's yet to be finished, okay? See where I'm taking you? Okay? This grade right here that I'm showing you on this hill looking down used to be as steep as that grade right there. So they actually thought that there was no way that anybody could build a wall this far up. And literally what we've done is we've done the impossible. We have shown them that this can be done. Now, as you guys know, the Guardian Patriots have been under attack by every ACLU, left anti-border political group that's out there, including the left media, who continues to attack us for anything and everything that we do regarding the border, and now including our personal lives. These attacks are non-stop. They don't want you guys to see the truth, that this is truly an invasion. They don't want the American people upset enough to where they actually get mad enough to act on this crisis and see it for what it really is. Those same forces have been at work against We Build the Wall, okay? And even the mere fact of the Guardian Patriots, which is a separate group from We Build the Wall, even the mere fact that we've had communication, they've tried to attack them as being racist and all the same narratives that they're using for us, as far as us being on the border documenting things. So if there's any media out there, understand something, that We Build the Wall and Guardian Patriots have two different missions. Their mission is to build walls in areas that it's needed. Our mission is to assist Border Patrol as well as citizen journalism. Our job is to document live the crisis of what's happening on the border, so that the American people have a true understanding of what the crisis is, because you in the mainstream media refuse to acknowledge it. So for those of you in the media that care about this story, that are real journalists, and I know you're on this feed right now, you need to do more homework before you just start talking racism. That's the only thing you talk about. You don't talk about the border and the issues. Now, that being said, yesterday, you guys noticed I hadn't been live, and you noticed that I kept saying I was going to make a big announcement, and I didn't go live for a reason. One of the reasons, obviously, is that we didn't want people knowing over here. We didn't want people knowing that we were building a wall. Why? Because we knew that the wall would potentially be sabotaged or shut down because of it. And so That's the reason that we didn't go live. That's the reason I wasn't showing you guys pictures. We did have many illegal crossings during that period of time. I can tell you that on Memorial Day, we had over 2,600 illegal immigrants come through right next to Sunland Park while the wall was being built, okay? Now, if you look at the wall itself, okay, this wall is more advanced than most of the wall or barrier structures that are out there. This has motion sensors on it. It has LED lighting that lights it up as images approach. You cannot dig under a tunnel under this wall. It has sensors that go down quite a ways into the ground to alert if anybody's digging. You know, so this is a very historic wall. It's built, I believe, better than any wall that has been built yet along the border. And it's built by the American people. It's built and paid for by you guys, you the American people. And as you can see down there, we started to put a nice road access that up to the side of the wall so that Border Patrol has easy access to the wall. You can see that we put roads in here so that the Border Patrol can drive around in the mountains if they have to. They haven't been able to do that in the past. Okay, and so this nice, beautiful wall, okay, that is strictly here to help the Border Patrol. This is not going to stop illegal crossings. What this is going to stop is the number of people that hit the border and where they hit the border. In other words, where it might have been easy to drop off 10,000 or 15,000 people and push them through, now there's a little barrier there that's going to push the coyotes to move people to another area. What's nice about that is the more areas of high traffic, easy crossings, when I say that I'm talking city to city, where it's easy access, it's going to make it so that Border Patrol can have central points where instead of having to have 5 guys out here chasing people through the mountainous area to get them to processing, now they'll cross at a different point where maybe you only need 1 Border Patrol agent, and so it manages the flow of traffic. Contrary to what these liberals talk about, people climbing the wall and stuff like that, most of the time with kids, you're not going to have large groups of 100 climbing the wall because, number 1, logistically it doesn't make sense. Number 2, you've got kids. And number 3, this wall has sensors on it, okay? So, that being said, I put out a call earlier for all patriots and people to come down here and rally and support us because we didn't think we were getting anywhere with the city, and we certainly, you know, are really not in a position to stop building this wall and finish the little area here that we have to finish, okay? We, you know, the American people donated, and they need to keep donating because there's other areas of wall that need to be built. This is not the only problem area, but this is probably the biggest problem child for the Border Patrol in El Paso, okay? So this is your guys' wall, America. This is them screwing with you. And one of the things we were concerned about is that not only does it cost a lot of money to stop the construction to finish this little bit of area, but also it gives time for others, such as the ACLU and the other anti-border groups, to find more reasons and delays to delay this wall in the hopes that it'll never get finished or that it would get torn down, okay? And so America needs to understand that this is serious business. This is about the invasion of America, and this is about you guys trying to protect your country, just like the Americans down here are trying to inform the country so that Americans at home can understand that when you have a Congress that fails you, when they're allowing your country, your national security, and everything else to be stomped upon, that you have a say as Americans as to what happens. It's your constitutional right to be here. It's your constitutional right to protect your border and your national security. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a serious thing. And so, you know, one of the things you guys did really well, you guys sent a loud and clear message to the Sunland Park mayor that we're serious about the wall. That, I mean, they're so fed up with phone calls over there, they can't take them anymore, okay? But the bottom line is that we are we're in a fight right now. This is the Constitution, guys. This is those groups, those anti-border people that want you to believe while you're asleep at the wheel that it's just okay for people to come in from any country in the world, walk in, take up your resources as far as food and health care. You can pay for it. And in the meantime, if we sneak in a few, you know, criminals or sex offenders, terrorists, drugs, weapons, whatever, it's okay for the cartels to get rich, and it's okay for you to not worry about it. So, like I say, guys, this is the real attack on America right here. This is attacking you. You can't attack We Build the Wall, because We Build the Wall is just simply a service provider for you, the American people. So when you attack, when you and the left, and for you media that are listening to this, when you attack We Build the Wall, understand that you're attacking over 450,000 Americans, of which probably not all of them are Trump supporters. Okay? So you have to understand that this is their wall, man. This is America's wall. Okay? This ain't my wall. This ain't We Build the Wall's wall. This is America's wall. This is America speaking directly to Congress, both of you on the right and on the left, that enough's enough. Okay? This right here is the Democrats trying to shut you down from having your wall. Okay, so here's what I did. I made a call to you guys. I said, man, you need to get down here. You guys need to show support. And you know what? A lot of you have already come. There's people already here on the ground ready to defend this wall. Okay? Now, there's been some changing developments from what I understand with the city of Sunland Park because of you guys responding to the cause. You guys blowing up the phone, you guys understanding what a sham this is. The city has had enough. And so what they're doing now is they are, I believe, and I'm going to make sure I got this correct before I say it. Dustin, I got a question. Are they now officially?
Right now we're working. They've been much more fair to us today, thanks to everybody who called.
Yeah.
All the pressure that's been applied. I
Okay.
think we're going to resume construction very soon.
Okay, so basically here's where we're at, guys. They got mad, you guys called, and they're upset. They don't want any more phone calls, okay? They heard from the silent majority. They heard from you guys, and they have been much more cooperative this afternoon as far as in how can we work with you guys to get the wall built, okay? So, most importantly, my emergency call for patriots to come to the border is over, okay? I'm no longer, it's no longer an emergency. It's no longer a 911, okay? For those of you that are close to here that have already made the trip or whatever, I will tell you this: we're going to have a little bit of a rally or some kind of thing tomorrow. That will be something that you can participate in for making the trip down here. I know that there was a lot of Americans when I put the call out that were private messaging me. And again, I apologize, and I don't apologize. I don't apologize because our mission here is to simply build a wall and get this border secured and move on to somewhere else. And when I say that, media, I'm talking about the Guardian Patriots. We told you guys, when you asked us, when would we leave this area? When would we leave Sunland Park? We told you we would leave Sunland Park. 90 days ago, we told you this, when we either had a wall or we had changes to the asylum laws. And now that we've got a wall, and we're going to be here till this wall is finished, by the way, the Guardian Patriots, okay? We're going to be here till the wall is finished. That's a promise, okay? We're going to make sure that this wall gets built, America's wall, and then we are going to identify other areas along the border, whether it's Arizona, whether it's Texas, other areas in New Mexico, where there's other things to show, other types of crises going on, and we're going to resume doing what we do, okay? Now, I will tell you guys this. One of the good things is you guys have been rocking the donations for We Build the Wall. You need to keep that up. There's going to be legal challenges regardless of whether we finish this wall or not, okay? The stronger and faster we can move that We Build the Wall can get wall into crisis areas, the better off it's going to be for everybody at home, okay? The wall right now is the only salvation for the Border Patrol. It is the only thing that's going to free people in the Border Patrol up to focus on our national security, because Congress is not going to override the governor of New Mexico and send in the National Guard. Congress can't agree on nothing, and even down here in the border cities, they're so asleep at the wheel because this is happening in their backyard. They don't see it. They see the numbers, but I've spent some time down here in El Paso, and it wasn't just until recently that people started walking into the streets in the middle of night, groups of 20 and 30 people 3 miles away from the border. Guys that, you know, they walk outside of their house at 3 in the morning and boom, there's a group of 40 people, okay? So, no matter what they say about this wall, and they say about that museum down there, yes, it is a museum. Have I seen tons and tons and tons of people visiting that little museum? No, I haven't, okay? That history over there on Monument 1 has been protected. If you look down where the wall is, you see where that square gap is? We protected the parking lot down there, okay? So we did not interfere with their park, as you may hear from some media outlets. The monument is still highly visible. That's Monument 1. For those of you guys that don't understand what that is the first landmarker, okay, that separates that starts the land-to-land border instead of having to cross the Rio Grande. So that is the significance of why we refer to this area as Monument 1, okay? Now, the other things that they're going to try to tell you is that there's a lot of people that don't cross through here, or that this is just some type of a nonsense area to build a wall. That is absolutely not true. We have recorded an average of 50 a day minimum to upwards of 180 to 200 people that cross here, children and women. And for those of you that watch my videos that have seen the crossers that we've encountered, you guys know that a lot of these units are fake family units, okay? You guys know that part of this crisis that isn't being talked about is all of the children that are being used. And the way that happens is if you have a coyote bring a man and a woman to the border and they don't have any kids, okay, what they'll do is they'll actually sell them a marriage. So they get a marriage certificate, and then when they get their child, they rent that child, okay? And then that child is then returned and rented again. And the reason they use the kids is because when they go through processing, the kids almost guarantee them 98% will get to stay in this country. So the kid has been monetized by the laws that we have that Congress refuses to fix. These are things that the average American is not aware of. Why? Because Border Patrol has not until recently been able to take any steps to identify children. They weren't able to fingerprint them. They were not able to take photography of those kids. And so the cartel has been over there raking in the dough, making, you know, just this entrance here, I can tell you alone, it's probably a $300,000 to $500,000 just on people entrance that we've shut down here. You know, you've got, okay, then on top of that, you've got the mountains here, and who knows what kind of drugs and other things go through. So this entrance here, on average, was probably making around $140,000 to $150,000 a day, just on the human trafficking side, where this wall is built. Now, if you take what you didn't see while Border Patrol was tied up, and you looked at where the drones were flying, they used to fly up here, and there used to be trails before the mountain got all tore up like it is now. We don't have numbers for the amount of drugs and stuff that went through the middle of the hill. I mean, that could be more than the human trafficking numbers. So, but I can tell you this, the cartel that now has to deal with this wall and this torn up hill that was so easy to access and elude Border Patrol with, they're in trouble, okay? This is gonna cost them some serious money. So I'm gonna zoom down here, guys, the best I can to kind of get you a picture there. So you see where Mexico is where the Mexico parking lot is, those two cars over there, and then you can see how easy it is just to walk across. There was no barrier. Okay, now we have barrier. So yes, Rob, it's a stand down now. Yeah, it's a stand down. Rob was one of the guys who was willing to come out here on a moment's notice and get out here. And America, you guys need to prepare for that, because when when we're down here, this is a war. It might not be a violent war. It's non-violent at this point, just like the invasion is non-violent. But Americans, you need to understand this crisis. You need to understand the multiple layers to it. Most of this is fraud. Most of what these people are doing, if they sat in front of a judge to determine whether the country in South America or Brazil or some other country that they came from, if they had a legitimate, plausible reason to be in the United States, they'd be denied. And that's a fact. We know that less than 10% of this, and this isn't Jim's numbers, these are directly from DHS and Border Patrol, is less than 10%. So if you have 120,000 people in 1 month cross through one sector, then you can safely say that only 10% of those people are legitimate asylum seekers. So these numbers aren't going down, by the way. The numbers are getting worse. Like I said, today, just today, we've had over 700 people today who've crossed through our little sector here. Okay, I didn't show you guys that either, but those numbers, I think somebody else caught those numbers. Maybe Anthony or somebody else was live today. I'm going to have some exciting things. I'm going to be here. We're going to be talking to some people over the next couple days. There's going to be a lot more to this, but I just wanted to tell everybody who was headed down here in emergency, if you're still booking your flights, or if you're still, we're trying to put together teams to come down here for the big protest and to help us sway the city. As of right now, that is a standoff order. Do not do it. If you're already here in the area, if you're already some of you are already on the property. If you're already here, we have a rally going on at, I think it's around 11 o'clock tomorrow. And so that being the case, if you're here and you're already here, then that's something, at least for those of you that already made the trip here, you're already here. We have something for you guys tomorrow. And like, again, this is America's wall. This isn't the Guardian Patriots wall. This is your wall, America. And yes, are we happy? We're very happy about this, because you know what this means for us? That when this is done, that the Guardian Patriots get to move somewhere else. I'm sure Sunland Park will be happy that we're gone, okay? But we get to move somewhere else to show you guys another area of the border that's facing a crisis. And it may not, what do you call it? It may not be the same type of crisis. It may be a combination of things. We may actually get you some live drug smuggling. We might be able to get you some, some actual different types of things than what we've seen here, okay? But we've spent almost 90 days boots on the ground here, as you guys know, patrolling and helping the Border Patrol in this area. And so for us to see this, to see the organization We Build the Wall come here and put America's wall here, we look at this as a victory. Is this the end? Is this the end of the road for We Build the Wall? No.